The 1960s in America were fraught with upheaval, civil rights activism, protests against the Vietnam War and the draft, a sense of political discontent, and a growing women's liberation movement. We, women of the 1960s generation, were there. We rode the crest of this giant wave of change. We stood up. We spoke out. Today, with the 2020 centennial anniversary of women's suffrage in the United States, we look back at the arduous path towards equality and celebrate the unparalleled advances in women's rights that our generation, unlike any before, has experienced. In 1776, Abigail Adams wrote to her husband, John Adams, "Remember the ladies, and be more generous and favorable to them than our ancestors. Do not put such unlimited power into the hands of the husbands. Remember, all men would be tyrants if they could." America's founding fathers, despite espousing a philosophy of freedom and equality, extended full rights to a privileged minority, wealthy white men. Ever since, for more than 200 years, women of every ethnicity and walk of life have fought for their rights. In the 1700s, American women could not vote, own property, keep their wages, control their own bodies, or have a legal right to their own children. Of course, the injustice was not limited to gender. Native Americans were denied citizenship. Enslaved African Americans were defined as property. In the 1800s, although prohibited from engaging in public political discourse, women began to speak out. African-American Mariah W. Stewart advocated for abolition and women's rights, becoming the first known woman to lecture to mixed audiences of women and men, black and white. The Lowell Mill Girls of Massachusetts challenged their factories' unfair wages and deplorable working conditions. Women's rights supporters held a convention in Seneca Falls, New York, to demand equality. Abolitionists like Sojourner Truth, a former slave, challenged the prevailing notion that women were unfit to participate in economic and political life. By the late 19th century, in most states, women could legally own property, control their wages, sign contracts, and retain custody of their children, the first steps toward economic independence. African American women were granted, on paper, freedom and citizenship by the 13th and 14th Amendments. But for many, racist Jim Crow laws and ingrained prejudices constricted them. Without the right to vote, all women still lacked a voice in the policies and laws that affected their daily lives. Suffragists fought for nearly a century before the 19th Amendment was passed in 1920 and women could finally vote. Yet not all women benefited equally. Native American women couldn't vote until they became citizens in 1924, and for Asian American women, the year was 1943. It wasn't until the Voting Rights Act of 1965 when many Native American and African American women could finally cast their ballots. In the 1920s, while the view persisted that a woman's place was in the home as wife and mother, roles gradually began to shift. World War II brought on a surge of factory work to fuel the war effort, and by 1950, over 30% of women were employed outside the home. But still, women were far from equal in the stratified, male-dominated society of the 1950s. Working women were largely excluded from high-paying trade and professional jobs and relegated to secondary or support positions. Many women of color could only find work in kitchens, as domestics, or in agriculture. Help-wanted ads were segregated by race and gender. Most women could not hold a credit card in their own name, obtain a loan, or rent an apartment. Contraceptive methods were unreliable, and the sale of birth control illegal in many states. Abortions were unlawful, obtaining a divorce difficult, and rape was onerous to prosecute. In the 1960s, propelled by labor reform and the civil rights movement, a revolution was dawning. civil rights lawyers such as Polly Murray, Dorothy Kenyon, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg spurred unprecedented expansions in women's right to equal pay, birth control pills, legal abortions, credit and housing in their own name, marriage equality, and greater access to higher education and well-compensated professional careers. Simultaneously, powerful feminist reformers, LGBTQ organizers, and Black Power activists led a transformation in American culture. Women who came of age during the political and cultural revolutions of the 1960s were emboldened to take full advantage of their historically unprecedented opportunities. The past half-century has seen many women forge new pathways to economic independence and personal freedom and lay the foundation for generations to come. While much has changed since Abigail Adams' plea to her husband, entrenched misogyny, racism, and income disparity have hampered progress for many women over the past 50 years and still stand in the way of full equality for all. Now, many hard-won legal rights are under attack, inspiring an evolution of feminist creativity in the generations of today. So with friends, mothers, daughters, and granddaughters, we, the women of the 1960s generation, share a series of personal stories to affirm the importance of women's rights. Together, for our life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, we stand up and speak out.
Thank you for watching this story from our online DocuSeries Stand Up Speak Out, the personal politics of women's rights. Please like and subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified when a new video is up. Share with your friends. Leave us a comment with your reaction to the story. All this helps us to reach more people. Visit our website, bcvoices.org, to learn more and support our work on our next episode.